For more on the story, we can go across to France 24's Oliver Farry standing by in Hong Kong. Oliver, you know, the national security law for Hong Kong was imposed last June. Since then, we've had a handful of arrests, but today it seems that in one fell swoop, it's been imposed.
Yes, this was very much an escalation. To date, there have been only 40 arrests and only 4 charged. Today, there were 53. And this all happened in a very concerted operation at dawn involving about 1,000 police officers. It's very much the day that Hong Kong's pro-democracy movement feared and indeed predicted. They knew that something like this would happen. The primaries last July, which were held to select a streamlined list for September's Legislative Council elections that were later postponed, were at the time said by the government, including Carrie Lam herself, that they could possibly have infringed the national security law. Now, she didn't give any particular details at the time as to why they might have violated the national security law, but the police today, with their charges, do appear to have fleshed out the details of the offence.
Let's talk about people that were arrested today, Oliver. What exactly did they do that Beijing feels violated a national security or jeopardizes its national security?
Well, the holding of the primaries, as I said, was to make it as the pro-democracy camp as strong as possible in those legislative council elections. Rather, they wanted to get so-called 35 plus, which would have given them control of the Legislative Council, which they've never had before. Now, this would have given them the possibility to veto bills, including Hong Kong's budget, if possible. And it could also ultimately bring down the government if a bill was rejected twice. The chief executive under Hong Kong's basic law is forced to resign. So all of what they're accused of is actually legal under Hong Kong's constitution, the basic law. What the police focused on, rather, was the intent and the fact that the strategy, the 10-point strategy drafted by former Hong Kong University law professor Benny Tai, included the word lam tao, which means mutual destruction. And this has been a byword for the protests over the last 18 months. So it was quite possibly they latched on that to give some particular urgency to the arrest today, claiming that they could jeopardize China's national security, indeed, and not just Hong Kong's stability itself. This could possibly be an exaggeration, but the national security law has in itself given very wide provisions to more or less clamp down on any form of dissent in Hong Kong, and the national security of China as a whole has been given as the main reason for doing so.
Indeed. Oliver Farry, thank you very much for that. Oliver Farry reporting there for us.